Good evening, Bonfire Racing League. This is another edition of Around the Bonfire, and I have a special guest today. We'll introduce him in a little bit, but just some quick updates. We have, once again, our special sponsor, primary sponsor for Season 12 stepped up, and that's Animal House Customs. Really excited to have Ricky Mandela. He's the one that is supporting us this season with Animal House Customs, so everybody look forward to that this season. And also, we had a big winner in the big truck on Tuesday night, and Nate Maurer won that race, and that was at Kentucky, I believe. Yep. And then let's see, your top 5 standings after that race is going to be AJ. He had 5 bonus points. That's what bumped him up over Nathan, but Nathan would come in number 2. David Owens is number 3. Joey Steyer is 4th. And Alex McCorder is going to be your 5th place for the top 5 in the truck league right now after one race. And then over in the Bonfire Racing League, after 2 races, Jared Kelly is your leader with 87 points. David Brenner, position 2 with 83 points. David Owens is in a tie for 3rd place with Chris Smorrell with 80 points. And then your 5th place is David Medina Sr. bringing up with 77 points. And he has a total of 8 bonus points, most bonus points from any driver we have right now. So things going on for that going into this Sunday. But without further ado, our special guest today is David Medina Sr. himself. He's graciously gave us his time to take us through Phoenix this evening. And David, how you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing good. Appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir. No, it's a pleasure. Oh, the pleasure is ours. Hopefully we can shed some light on the performance you have and teach us a couple things about Phoenix here as you're starting off here in the pits, it looks like.
Yeah, I do my best to kind of explain how I look at this track and how I try to get around it.
Sounds good, David. As you get going here and warmed up, is there when you get ready for a track, David, or something like this, especially with braking going to be important, can you explain a little bit how brake bias works with these next gen cars?
Sure. So the master cylinders and brake bias, they're obviously 2 things on fixed setups that we can adjust, and really helps with getting the rotation of the car. And that's what you're looking for in these flex setups, since they're relatively tight. And then it also helps with you're trying to control that tire heat, right? That's with this model, the tire heat is more detrimental than the actual wear. We see more heat being an issue, so that's where the brake bias comes in, and it's a big tool to use. So definitely suggest everybody just getting used to it and trying it out, and run about 15-20 laps when you're practicing, and just try different things. Just try a setup with a more brakes towards the back, and what you'll probably see is just the rear end line to kick out, and that's what you're looking for, how much you can control that.
Right, David. So that's just like a sweet spot that you yourself as a driver has to find, is how much is too much, and especially you got to be careful on the pit entry if you really got that brake bias kicked towards the rear.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a driver's feel. Everybody's braking and driving styles are different, so you got to find out what works for you and for your driving style.
All right, David, well, as you're heading into turn 4 here at Phoenix, as we can notice a couple laps, that big open dog leg off the start finish line, what is that going to do for our drivers here?
Yeah, so this is a critical part, because if you don't hit it wrong, you can spin out. And I'll demonstrate that just to kind of give an idea, because this is one thing that a lot of people, they don't like going down there because of that. And so the key to the dog leg is having the wheel relatively straight when you go in there. If you have a lot of wheel into it, you'll turn, you'll spin out. So I'll try and demonstrate it here just to kind of show everybody.
Yeah, we caught that.
So
Had the cockpit view there. Yep.
Yeah, so that's just an example there that if you have too much wheel, you're gonna catch that grip, and it's just gonna over rotate your car. So when you're approaching that, and by the time you get to that start finish line, you want to be pointing in that direction and have very little wheel into it. So I'll do it after this warm-up lap. I'll do it with how I like to do it. Not to say it's the right way, but it's what I'm comfortable with.
Yeah, David, I totally noticed that too. You got to have that car set up without any type of, I guess it's called lateral force. You need to have the car nice and balanced and with a straight wheel to hit that dog leg.
So just like that, you want to be pointing towards it, wheel relatively straight.
All right, David, and right here, so we're coming out of turn 2, and as you can see, there is the pit entrance. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but coming up on turn 4 here, Dave, anything that sticks out to you?
Yeah, it's a turn that's it's easy to overdrive, and so what happens sometimes, you overdrive and then you slide up, and then the braking, you can't carry a lot of brake. If you do, the back end will want to come around on you. So it's finding that right balance on the amount of brake that you want to use, going into the corners and then trail braking off it. But if you hold the brake, too hard for too long, it's going to want to spin out on you on entry. And if you don't carry enough brake, it's going to want to slide up. That nose is going to want to slide up on you.
Okay, so this is one of our first tracks this season that the braking is going to play a critical role in the race.
That's correct. Yeah, this is a short track. I've heard it called a mini. I think it's Pocono is what I've heard it called, and rightfully so. It's just a short track version of it.
All right, Dave, and then so we've talked about the dog leg, some of the restarts that are going to happen off of that dog leg, and maybe you can walk us through maybe the little different pit entry coming up. Yeah,
so basically what you want to do, and that overslows it there, but when you start slowing down, you basically want to shift down into third, and then this is your commitment line, and then that's your pit entry line. So I'll show it again at a little bit faster speed, but the main thing is you're going to slow your car up just like you would normally do it going into the corner. The only difference is you're going to want to shift into third, or you can do it in fourth. I'd like to do it in third. And then the other part is getting on to the apron with the brake because of the transition. If you have too much brake on this thing, when you go onto the apron, the car will want to over-rotate on you, and you'll be facing the wall. So we'll see if I can do it without without parking it into the wall.
All right, cool. Well, David, thank you for running us through a couple of those things. And then while we're talking here too, David, Phoenix, is there multiple lines? Is this a multiple groove track? Is there ways to get around this track more than one way than running the bottom?
Yeah, that's the good thing about this track is that there is multiple lanes that you can run if you're running side by side, or if you're trying to make a pass on somebody, there are multiple lanes that you can run. Some of the caution areas, when you're going through that dog leg, is some people just assume a lot of accidents happen because they assume people are going through the dog leg. But just a reminder that that's not the case. The car on the inside doesn't have to go down there. So there's a note there on that. And then coming into this turn here, so as we come into here, you want to do your braking early as much straight line as possible, and then ease back into the throttle. It'll want to get loose if you go full throttle. You can do it, but you'll pay the price on your tires. So you want to be cautious on full throttle, and then here, same thing. You don't have to use as much brake. Just slow the car down, and then it's a diamond, and you can run a high line, or you can follow this seam right here all the way around it and do a mini diamond there. So that's the great thing about that turn there, is that you can run multiple lines. And same with this one here. You can take it wider if you have a car on the inside, and you can defend the outside line and take the inside car's line away on exit.
Right on, David. Well, hey, I'm gonna let you run a few laps there, David, but I got a few questions that are a little more off the track questions. So let's see. The first one I had was, how long have you been on the iRacing simulator for, Dave?
Since 2001.
Wow. Okay, that's amazing. So from 2001. Hey, that explains a lot to me there, David. I'm sure I asked that question to you before. So, okay, so 2001. And then my other question is, I had a couple lined up here in my head. Let me see if I can remember them. Okay, David, so we've all seen your stream, which is on YouTube. And what's the name of that? Is that Team Folcom on YouTube?
It's Folcom Racing on YouTube.
Okay, and you do have a Twitch also?
I do, and same thing. You can search it for Folcom Racing and find me there. And I have, sorry, that's TikTok, and then on Twitch I have DMS Racing. So I have all three of those.
Awesome. So if I've tuned into a lot of them there, David, and people have commented and seen like, "Hey, David, what are you running on your screen? What's all these things you're running?" And you mind explaining real quickly, David, some of those tools you use during the races?
Yeah, one of the biggest questions I get is what you'll see on the left side of my telemetry, input telemetry, is what is the brake saver, what's the tire saver, and you can hear what your tires are doing in your headset, right? That's the cue that we get, and this overlay basically just takes that same telemetry and puts it into visual format. And I'm a visual learner, so it was a good tool for me when I was learning, just to understand the proper amount of braking and what I was feeling in my hand as it translate to what that tire saver says. So like that tire saver, you can see it flashing like light green to blue, and the blue indicates that you're on the verge of spinning out. The green means the tires are solid and square. The red that you see there, that indicates that I'm on the max verge of locking up my tires, right? So max grip. So it's if you're new to iRacing or to a car, to the next gen car, it's just a good tool to kind of put what you're hearing and what you're feeling in your wheel into a visual format. And this works with SimHub, and it's from Buster's Corner. Very smart guys over there that developed this and put this together.
Right on. Now, okay, so David, now another question I got. Team Folcom, I believe you're one of the founding members. So can you tell us what Folcom means, David?
It's a great mystery. We've been asked that question quite a bit, and we've never, really the only people that know what it stands for are the members of Team Folcom. And we've kind of just kept it like that because we just thought it was kind of comical that people are intrigued by the name and asking about it, and just the way that it sounds as you read the team's name. It sounds like something else, but I won't reveal. Not on this one. I won't reveal what it means, okay, because I don't have the other founders' approval to do so. And
I think you can only reveal it if all members are present at the time. So I completely understand. All right, yeah. And last question off the top of my head here, Dave. Who's the toughest driver in the Bonfire Premier Cup to pass, would you say, in your opinion?
Pass. I without even having to think about it, is David Brenner.
Okay. And then who do you see in your rearview mirror and you say to yourself, "Oh shit"? Man, it's hard just to pick a name out there. There's so many good drivers in this league, and everything I've learned, I owe it to a lot of these people in the Bonfire League. But you got Jason Langer out there, who's basically fast in anything that you put him in. I'm sure he's fast in a go-kart. So in the golf cart, go-kart, probably a shopping cart. But Jared Kelly is another fast one. Chris Morrill, David Brenner, and David Owens. I mean, the list just goes on and on. You got so many guys that, even like last season, Joseph, you can just see that he's picked up speed, and got a lot of guys that are up and coming. That have really gotten a handle on this thing. I've been impressed with David Brenner this season. I mean, it's only been 2 races, but he's been really showing really getting the car dialed in this year. So excited to see how the number 22 does this season also. But all right, Dave. Well, hey, before we get out of here, David, like I said earlier, I really appreciate your time, and also I know we had a couple of members from Team Folcom help put some sponsorships in for the broadcasting and any special things. But any shout outs or anybody want to give thanks to or whatever it is, David, this is your moment. The mic is yours, the floor is yours.
I appreciate it. Want to start off by thanking the Puckett brothers for putting this league on many years ago, and I mean, we're in our 12th season and still having phenomenal amount of drivers show up and racing and stuff. So appreciate them for putting it on. Appreciate all the admins, and congratulations to you and Jared for being admins this year for the Cup League. So appreciate all those guys for setting this up, and then all the drivers. It is by far the best league I've ever been a part of, and always enjoy racing with these guys. And I gotta definitely give a shout out to all the Team Folcom members. Again, I've learned so much in racing with those guys, and they've given me so much information over the years, and including Justin Gann. He kind of had some private sessions with me and helped me out with some of the tracks that I struggled with, and it's just like a light bulb kicked on. But just want to thank all of them, and obviously I got to thank my wife too for allowing me to spend my time on this rig.
That's right. Same here.
Yeah.
Allowing. That's my chosen word also, David. So
exactly. Right
on. Well, David, thanks again, and we look forward to seeing you on the track this Sunday. And everybody, we catch the action live, not live, but broadcasted right after the race on the Bonfire Racing Network, which is done by the Production Truck Boys. Zach, Mean Gene, Jared, and Buddy Sally. Big shout out to Buddy Sally for everything he's been doing behind the scenes also. So guys, thank you. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll see you this Sunday at Phoenix. Have a good night.